We back at I'm Human Entertainment. We doing a music interview today. We got DatBoiDon in the building.
Yes, sir.
Obviously,
Yes,
me and
sir.
Caleb,
Yes, sir.
and we're gonna go over like his beginning of his career and see, and so we're gonna have him back on and see where we at.
For sure.
All right, so first question we're going to start off with. On your Instagram, you had a photo of you as a child, with music. So that's when your whole music career, music interest start back at that time?
Yeah, so I started rapping, like, I was interested in it, like, way before, like, when I was, like, 9. But I was recording on, like, a Dell laptop on voice notes. Like, I had the beat playing out the speakers, rapping over it. But in that picture specifically, my uncle built a studio in his office thing. And I was recording in there, and that's when they took the picture. And it was actually a Fucking Problems remix.
Okay.
It was a remix, yeah. And I was scared to cuss. So I had to, like, I was scared. I was nervous. I was, like, being clean and childlike.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What's one wish that you can have in your talent, in your bag?
I wish that I could mix my voice and mix my music in the ways I think of it. Because there's a lot of great ideas and creative things I want to do, but I don't fully have that knowledge yet to mix it without like going to a studio or something. Like I want to be able to make whatever I think of ASAP.
So how long you been like mixing like yourself, like when you don't have time to go to the studio? Like how much experience you got?
Probably since about like 6th grade, 7th grade. I've been playing with it.
It's good talent to have, especially since you can save money that way also, that you don't have to go to somewhere to go get that mixed. You can just do it all in house.
Yeah, that's the best way too, because you don't have to worry about paying people to like make it perfect or having to keep going back. Like I will literally, like this morning I wake up and go into the studio every day. Like I just wake up in the studio and just start working.
Okay.
So
some of the people you've worked with, especially Tampa people, have you learned from any of them?
Definitely, for sure. Mainly one of the biggest people that I learned a lot from is definitely Proud by Chill. Just because, like, sitting in the studio with him, the way he mixes his vocals and he just clicks this, clicks that. But if you watch it, there's science, and I've learned a lot in mixing my own music from working with him.
I've seen it. We've been in the same studio, and he knows how to work his magic.
Just click, keyboard shortcuts, everything. I'm just trying to get
shit's crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great skill. So so what do you expect the way you make your music, I know you're a person, you kind of more outgoing, you speak your mind and all that. So what do you expect other people to think of when they listen to DatBoiDon?
So I'm actually working on changing that right now. I'm actually just now coming out of my shell. I've kind of played it safe this whole way. So I've been making like trap music, club bangers and stuff like that, something that anybody could listen to. But now I'm going in the route of like more like elaborate, thought out, deep stuff type stuff. Like
the song you sent us for Soon video and Wednesday drop was a lot different. Especially since we were listening to your music, it was a lot different. I was not expecting that. Speaking of Wednesday, you have EP coming out soon, single on Wednesday. If you want to explain what listeners have to expect for that.
It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be very dark. It's very different from anything I've ever put out. Even that one song that you guys heard, that's a piece of it, but it gets a lot deeper than that. And I put so it comes from a place of of dark time that I was going through in my life. Most of those songs were written and recorded during that time. So it's like the whole tape or EP captures that era. So it's definitely going to be more of like a deeper, darker sound than anything else I've put out so far.
That's cool.
So you feel like since you have like two different types of music, like you said when you first started, you can do club bangers, more like trap music, and now you're going back to a more calmer side, dark side. How versatile do you think you can take this? Like, do you feel like you can be like top of the top when it comes to being versatile in your music?
Definitely. That's what I'm kind of trying to make my thing, really, is that you never know what you're gonna get on the next project. Like a lot of artists, like you expect, kind of like inspired by like The Weeknd or Tyler the Creator, how like their projects don't sound the same at all. Like one project is like hard hitting, and then the next one's like pop and upbeat, which is where I'm going right now. So this dark album, the next album might be hype or turn, And that's what I want people to know me as, is like I could have a split fan base and have a little bit of everybody in my circle.
Yeah, everybody, depending on their mental state, can listen to this album and this song.
Kind of like X.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because, yeah, if you're just doing the same thing, look at some of the people, like, you do the same thing, that you just plateau. You can't improve yourself. And especially, you're more on the beginning side of, like, getting into the actual industry. And you've been getting some good support from people that are, especially people you work with. I've been reading the comments.
Yeah, the underground scene been showing me a lot of love recently. I kind of just stepped in there, and they're accepting me with open arms. So I'm
that's
feeling
good. That's good. So I saw you just did a live show. How was your experience with that?
So that was my second live show in the same place. It's a Plant City venue. And so that was actually felt really good for me. And since then, I noticed I've ramped up my production. Like, I used to make music kind of like I'll make a song maybe once here and then not touch the studio for a week or two. But after I performed it live and I got the reaction from the crowd and I like had that feeling of just like going and like people like locked in, it made me want to go straight home and make more performable songs. Like I want to hear the crowd singing my song after that. So
yeah, you have anything that you want to take from that experience, like learn from?
Yeah, I definitely want to learn to rehearse more, and because the first time I did it, it went smooth, it went perfect, it was on point. The second time I did it, I was trying to get and perform new songs that I wasn't too comfortable with, and I thought I was, but I wasn't. So I learned from that to just rehearse it, but don't also stumble, because like I'd mess up. And then I get in my own head and be like, oh, the whole song's ruined. And then the beat's still playing, the song's still playing. And I'm just like, So, yeah, I definitely need to be able to stay on track and lock in my songs, like memorize them before I perform.
Do you have a goal in mind right now? Like your next biggest goal?
I really just want to, my main goals consist of like milestones, really. Like I want to be able to drop something and hit like 1,000 views. It's small. It's a little number to some people, but for me right now, that's my main goal, is get to 1,000, get to 20 likes per video, get to 30. So right now I'm trying to get to 20 likes and 1,000 views. Then I'll be on to the next thing. So,
So since you got the EP coming out, do you see an album within the next seeable future?
So the thing with the album is, when I drop an album, I want it to be like cared about, kind of like I want it to be like an album where there's YouTube videos breaking it down and finding Easter eggs in it and like figuring out the story of it and the purpose. So I probably won't drop an album until I at least have like a decent enough following to where I'm like a full-time rapper, almost like doing features and stuff like that, traveling, doing shows. Then I'll drop an album when kind of everybody's looking, but I gotta grab the eyes first before I could do that.
So whenever the time's right.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So with all that, so where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Like, so let's say you push that in there within those 5 years. What else do you want to accomplish then?
So in 5 years, I really want to be like be solidified in the game at that point. So I want to go through my underground phase in the next 2 years, 3 years maybe, and then those 2 years of the 5 years, I see myself being more like at the top, like someone you hear on the radio. Someone who's known, like, I'm not saying like Drake, Lil Wayne level, but more like a Rod Wave level or like a Kodak level, something like that, like a known, like, why. Like, in 5 years, I want to go on a state tour, arena tour, or at least an amphitheater tour, something like that.
So let's say you wasn't known nationally, would you be okay with being known very, very well in like Florida, like the Kodaks, the young Kodaks, Rick Ross's, and Rod Wave, he's from here as well? Would that be something you would like to do?
Yeah, that's where I plan to start. That's my main thing. That's why I'm working with all these underground artists and getting like in these conversations in rooms, working with local people, because I feel like you're really not anything without being big in your own state, because it's like your state is your base, like you're coming out of the base. And then I also think of it like you bring that sound. Like if I go to New York, like on a business trip for music, New York artists are going to want to work with me because they want that sound that I bring from where I come from, rather than if I'm from Florida and I'm hopping on drill beats trying to sound like them. It's just like, it's not really your profession, your home type thing.
People don't understand, like, you can really make a living just being known off in your own state. Like, you can make enough money without being known all around the world or in the U.S. or anything like that?
Definitely, there's a few million people in Florida, I think.
So one of our goals in about like 8 years, we want to host a festival, like a music festival, for all the people that we worked with pretty much until that point. So hopefully everything works out. We'll have you, have Pride by Chill, have tons of other people that we've worked with, and it's all going to be basically a Tampa or Florida at that point wide festival. And
That's lit.
it'd be nice.
That's all. I forgot about that actually. That's probably where I would want to be in 5 years. Going back, I really, 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 really am into performances at festivals like Cardi, Yachty, Uzi. Like how they're like just seeing like a thick crowd of people, even if it's local and it's not a big crowd of people, just like a bunch of people just out there having fun. They rush to get to the front. The speakers booming, your music is hitting everybody's turn, even if they don't know your song.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the best feeling, just to look out in the crowd and see like thousands of people enjoying your music.
Yeah, and it'll be just a good vibe all around. Everybody fucking with it.
Definitely.
So when you make it up there, what do you like expect? Like, you think when you make it up there, do you expect like a kind of treatment from other people? Let's say you make it big, you're like how the baby kind of just popped up out of nowhere. What do you expect from like other people around other places to expect? Do you feel like they're gonna be hating a little bit, or it's gonna be a little bit of both, a little bit more love? Like people from New York, people from California, people from South Carolina, North Carolina. What do you think about them?
I think it's only gonna be love with me, cause I'm not into like rap beefing and stuff like that. Like when I blow up, I'm not gonna play the villain role where I'm just like trying to get attention, like off of just doing whatever to get attention, like going viral. I'm more focused on just like trying to like work with everybody. So it's like there would be no reason to hate on me or like have beef with me, cause I'll work with you. I'll work with anybody. But there is certain things I do keep in the back of my mind, like when I'm at this point now, people that like may have ignored me or shut doors on me type thing. Now those people, I'm more like I'll just tax them on a feature or something like that. But nah, I'm not gonna be any negativity or beefing.
So how have you been evolving now?
So lately I've been I'm getting more lyrical. So before I used to just punch in, just go in the studio, say whatever. And if it sounds good on the first rip, I'm keeping it. I'm going on to the next one. But another artist that's local, Trillis Swift, who I work with very closely, which we are a combined group too. We have a project coming out in the future. He's very him and James or Pride by Chill definitely are very influential in that side. Cause like when I'm in the studio by myself, if I think it sounds good, I'm clearing it instantly. But when I sit down with them, I go over verses like time and time again and fix 1 word, 2 words, and just keep going over it. And I'm definitely thinking out what I'm saying too. Like instead of the blah 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 mumble stuff, I kind of like piece bars together now. Like I write this bar, and then the next 2 bars are gonna connect to that type of thing, like thought out and follow a story rather than just freestyling kind of. So.
What's the hardest thing that you have? Like, what's the brick wall that's came up multiple times?
It's definitely finances at this point, cause I have all the music. I have all the ideas that I know I could go a far way with. It's just paying for all the promotion, the videos, the studio time, the beats, all that stuff is the main thing that I'm trying to get together right now. So if that's probably the main obstacle. Like if you took that out of the equation and I had the tools available to me, my page would look completely different right now. I'd probably have an album out by next year in that sense, if I had the resources to create what I wanted to as frequently.
So what can we see you dropping and by the end of this year, like 6 months? See anything dropping for you?
Maybe 2 to 3 more EPs after this one coming up. I got another one that's also ready to come up after this one. And then I got that joint EP with Trillis Swift that we plan to release this year. And then I definitely would be a lot more music videos, podcasts, interviews. I'm networking very hard, so you should start seeing my face in more and more places now, because I'm working with everybody, whoever, because we all gonna go up together. So
Does your family support you?
Definitely. I actually seen a big surge when my family reposted. So I used Facebook to promote my music, which is kind of weird now. It's like that's usually like family and people, but I was like, hey, I got people over there. And I posted it, and then 2 family members reposted it, and my views doubled within like 20 minutes just from 2 family members reposting it. So
that's good.
Definitely, yeah.
So when it comes to in the future, you ever plan on like rebuilding like a house or anywhere you grew up at, or maybe like buying, like maybe like wherever you grew up, like, whether it's an apartment, maybe buying the whole thing and rebuilding it up, or where do you plan on like giving back?
Like in the far, far future.
Yeah,
Like,
far future. Like when you made it, you're solidified, your kids are fine, and all that stuff. Like, do you plan on giving back to where you came from, or you kind of just be like chilling, kind of just lay back?
yeah, I definitely have something planned. It's I want to do something for kids, kind of like a music group for kids, like kind because in school and growing up, I never really had any opportunities to do music. Like I never really had any ways that I could get involved in rap or R&B. It was only like I could do chorus or I could play instruments, but I don't want to sing John Skinny Bones No Clothes On or however it go. I don't want to sing that and do all that. So I want to create a group that I'll like fund these kids, like not a record label, but I'll take care of them to go up. Like I'll pay for the videos, their studio sessions, and then all they gotta do
And a teacher.
all they gotta do is do good in school. So it's not like I'm messing up their life because they think they're gonna be a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like and their parents might pay a fee, something like that. I haven't worked out the logistics, but I definitely want to create something where people like teens like my age that don't have the resources, don't have a car to get to this, don't have this, that, and the other. I want to be able to provide that and be able to provide promotion.
So it's like a win-win. So it also keeps the kid in school, keeps them focused. You got to have good grades to get into this program, and then also while you're funding it, and then all you might ask for is maybe like a couple dollars from the parents just for like, the teacher and all that stuff and the way you put it out. I respect that.
Yeah, like a karate school kind of, or like
Yeah.
a dojo or something. Like you pay and then they teach you karate. I'm gonna teach them music, but I'm gonna also, once they learn, I'm gonna give them connections. Cause if I'm in the music game, I'll have connections too. That like special guests, like random name Kodak. Let's say I'm like, oh, Kodak's gonna be here today. The kid's gonna be excited. They meet Kodak and then they pick up some game from him. He talks to him, stuff like that. So
Cool.
got Calling My Name coming out on Wednesday, the live performance. The tape will be coming out, I would say give it about a month. Probably next month I'll drop the date. I have the track list ready. Track list on Friday of this week coming up. And then I'll have the date with the track list. So
Cool.
All right, we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Another interview down. We're gonna see you again. We're gonna do some more business. It's gonna be coming out soon.
definitely.
You got anything else to add, Caleb?
No, just appreciate your time.
I really appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we both build off each other, especially with networking. Networking is really good.
Definitely.
So
Then we're gonna run it back in a year and a half. Hopefully, we can be in a different space. And
Yep.
we're gonna see where we at.
For sure,
Yes,
for
sir.
sure.
sure. All right, thank you guys for listening. You want to say any remarks to anybody?
Shout out Triller Swift, shout out Big Guy Sky, shout out Proud by Chill, shout out Dawn and Lex, me and my wife YouTube channel, and Calling My Name Wednesday. That's all I got.
Absolutely.
All right, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.